Solid. Good start to episode 1 of the Worse Than Average podcast. Is everybody?
Great start. Nobody speaks
I
at
was
all.
about
Are
to
we
say,
supposed to talk?
literally, just nobody says anything. I guess for
I
the first
I
10
thought.
seconds.
Okay. I agree, Dakota. That was a great start to this podcast.
Great start.
Us joining.
I was trying to make sure that everybody's audio was still working. It sounded like everybody was broken for the first 15 seconds. So I thought we were supposed to be keeping this natural, but that didn't feel very. All right. First up on the agenda, the check-in. How's everybody doing?
All
I'm
right.
doing pretty good.
I'm doing good as well. I'm
It's the day's going on, you know.
Going
I'm
on.
getting a tattoo tomorrow.
That's fun.
So hold on, is this a? Have you been planning for this?
Yeah, get a I had to schedule it with him
Mm-hmm.
like a few months back because he's the guy I go to is he's like really well known and he's been doing it for like 20 years.
I'm surprised this is the first that we're hearing about it.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it when we went on our trip,
Did
but
you?
yeah, I said I'm getting a new one soon, but I didn't say when.
And you didn't explain that it was by someone famous either.
No, no, no,
Just
not
like keeping
famous.
it.
He's just well known. He's a well-known tattoo artist in the area. He's like
Wow. Yeah.
a lot of people go to him
Got it.
because he's so good.
Cool. What's the design?
It's just gonna be I have a sword on my forearm.
Okay.
It's just gonna be a add-on to it. It's a Zelda theme. It's gonna be the family crest.
Okay. You're getting your family crest on your arm.
The Hyrule family crest.
I mean, like
Interesting.
the. I know what you
It's
mean.
like the bird, and then it has the wings and the feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
it's gonna be behind the sword, and then or it's gonna be in front of the sword with the Triforce, and then the shield silhouette is gonna be in the background.
Hmm.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay. My day has been going pretty solid too. I never mentioned that. I did have a quick question because I don't know. I think I know Connor's birthday is November 21st, right?
You always say that.
Damn it.
It's the 27th.
27th. I don't know why I keep saying 21st. Corbin's is August 2nd.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Good job.
Joel, I don't know yours.
Guess. You'll get it.
Guess?
Yeah, you'll get it.
I won't. I have literally. This is blind. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go for
go.
it.
All right, I'm gonna go April 3rd.
Oh, you actually got the day right. It's July 3rd.
July 3rd. Okay. I was going for the other end of the calendar since I knew when your brother's was.
Mhm.
What?
We were 23 months apart.
Almost 2 years on the dot.
Yeah.
What zodiac signs is that? Connor, are you Scorpio?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Is that a sheep or a bull or something?
I don't know.
I don't know. Corbin,
I think I'm a Leo.
a
I don't
Leo.
pay that much attention to zodiac signs, but I'm pretty sure I'm a Leo.
I don't either. And Joel, you said yours was July 3rd?
Yeah, that's
So you're the
Cancer.
same as me. Yeah, you're,
That's
you're
a
Cancer.
crab.
We got crabs, man. Uh,
Cancer.
yeah, Cancer. I bring it up because I've kind of like I having a mom that's really into like spiritualism and stuff. I heard a lot about like um zodiacs growing up, and I kind of got like a little like you know they're like those interests that you have that you don't really care about though. And zodiacs were kind of my thing for a little bit, and I never like I always like thought of them as more like fortune cookies. Like they're kind of like silly little things that like if it matches up with you, like it's kind of cool and entertaining for a little bit.
Mhm.
And that's the way I viewed it. But I found out a couple years ago actually about the 16 personalities thing, which we all already talked about recently
Hmm.
in preparation for this. And I just wanted to know opinions on how much it sticks to you because I feel like it's a much better representation than zodiacs. I think.
I
Uh,
think you're right.
I think the. Are you referring to the test we took?
Yeah.
Like the personality that it assigns you. I feel like it
I
is.
definitely think that's different than uh, like signs,
Yeah, I
just
was.
because I think it's backed scientifically, at least a little bit.
Yeah, like in a pseudoscience way.
Right. Well, I would say zodiac signs are more pseudoscience than
I said, yeah,
that.
no. When you try to like prove zodiac, yeah, I would say that. But the basis of the MBTI, I feel like, is just like trying to find like small patterns that have no real consequence, and then kind of making like I don't know, like me and Joel, for example, we're both categorically the same, INTJ, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, where he does. I don't, Joel. You don't really know that much about it, but since I've been in it for a little bit, I feel like I'm more of an INTP or maybe even INFP. Um, just because of my the way I look at things. I've noticed in my behavior, in the way that I do things and think, I do probably fall in more with INTJ. I've noticed more recently, but just the way that I think and want to do things, I feel more of like an INFP or an INTP.
Hmm.
It's more like INTJs are apparently like they're made to be seen as like the villains in stories and stuff. Like like they're like mischievous, not mischievous, but like masterminds, like super villains. Like here, let me do some Google real quick.
What does the J stand for? Is it
It's
Judging,
judgment.
judgment?
Yeah.
judging, yeah.
Judging, okay.
He's
As opposed
perceiving.
to perception.
And see, I think it's.
Cerberus Snape is a INTJ. Apparently Batman is too, which is funny.
I think it's
Uh,
weird that we have similar like results with that because I think we're like we're not polar opposites, but I
You
think we
guys are
definitely
not
have.
similar, in my opinion.
Well,
You
I
guys are your own entities.
I think we have similarities, but I definitely don't think we're exactly the same personality-wise. Like,
yeah.
I,
Well,
I
your personality type doesn't exactly describe your entire personality.
yeah,
That
It's
is
more of
true.
like behavior patterns, I feel like.
Yeah.
okay. Well, I definitely feel like I'm less of a loose cannon.
You think I'm a loose cannon?
A little bit.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
Not necessarily loose cannon. It's just your bolts are slightly more loosened than mine.
I feel
You
like
basically called him a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
I feel like you know what, in that case I feel like I'm just a little bit more rational and realistic. I feel like you're a
That
little
that
more hopeful, which feel it reminds me of an older me, but
I would also disagree with that opinion. I don't think I'm hopeful at all. Like I
in the way that you maybe in your own like mind, sure, but I feel like I'm more forthgoing with when things are bad and what I think needs when there needs to be a stronger push than usually you do. You seem to take more of a passive route.
Well, do you have any like specific thing you're referring to?
No, just general behavior. Like I don't know, literally just any decision that you've made. It just in terms of talking, like we don't. I don't really like live with you or anything, so I don't know your everyday doings and comings on. But in terms of when we're in the Discord together and we do and talk about things, you're more on the back burner. I feel like you take more of a passive route of engagement than I do.
Hmm, interesting.
That could
We all,
also be because he is the newest.
So you're saying I talk the least out of everyone?
well, I think we already went over this the other day where we talked about how you were more of a pacifist
Well,
with
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Well, I'm
You don't want to
definitely
be front and center.
right. That's definitely true. I don't necessarily think I'm a passive speaker, though. I think I'm relatively active in the conversations.
Right. I'm not saying you just never speak. In terms of assertiveness and passiveness, you are definitely when it's to us two being compared. I feel like more assertive on the scale than you are.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Us two
I
compared,
don't.
yes.
I feel like I don't think that was hard to see, but that's what the decision. That's what the discussion started out with. I thought Elon Musk is an INTJ, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yep, and Mark Zuckerberg.
Hmm.
So, sociopaths.
So I guess INTJs are more likely to become billionaires.
True.
That is
That
actually
is a
yeah.
that is fair.
See, I think I could take my personality test again and I could get a totally different result.
That's what I was gonna say. It seems very tentative.
But I feel like it would stay around the
Yeah, I
same.
don't know how far different you
Maybe
mean.
like one letter off.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm a ENFP,
Yeah.
and I feel like if I took it, one letter might change at max. Because I'm pretty sure I answered the questions pretty accurately to my best ability.
Yeah, I feel like if you like were honest, I feel like you shouldn't switch up that much because you should have about the
Hmm.
same answers. You know what I mean?
But a lot of the questions, I was a little iffy on whether or not I was leaning toward agree or disagree. So I kind of did the neutral option.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did.
I did too, but I don't feel like I would be any more hard stanced on any of them because a lot of them felt more like a lot of the questions were just very, I don't know, how do you feel about this? And it's like if I don't feel very strongly about it, I'm not going to answer very strongly about it. You know what I mean? And
That's fair.
I don't think that my answers would change based on this amount of time that's happened.
Hmm.
Is there like a letter, like what do all the letters in that mean? Do we know?
Uh,
It means something.
well,
But
hold
it,
on.
There are quite a few.
Yeah,
but is
hold
it like
on.
is there like a defining like one letter is like your core, like the
No, it's the first two letters are introverted and extroverted, and then I believe the second letters are intuition and sensing, and then feeling, thinking, and there's actually more. But I'm actually just thinking of the opposites on my spectrum, but thinking, feeling, and perceiving and judging. But I believe that there's also four other sets of letters. Like
There are also sub uh, categories, aren't there?
yes, the turbulence, assertive, and then I think there's two
Hmm.
other letters. So I feel like there's that right there is already like factorial equation to find out all the combinations you could get for that. I don't know.
I don't. Well, I'm not sure. I guess it
Or
would be 16, wouldn't it? Because it's a 16 personality test.
oh yeah, you're right.
You don't even have to do the math; they just tell you.
Just right there in the name. All right. I have a quick question about AI though. Have you guys seen You guys were talking earlier about seeing new stuff with AI art, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was more interested in the AI music because I've been seeing a lot of memes with
Like, is the AI fully like composing, like with synthesizers and stuff?
from my understanding, it's people. I really don't know, but I think people make beats and
Okay.
um,
Is ask him to rap over it or something?
something like that. I think.
Because I went on ChatGPT a while back and I asked him to make a chord progression, and it just gave me the like an E major like F major chord. Like it tells me the keys that I would push, and it did all right.
Yeah, there's other AIs now. Like there's actual like AIs for specifically music making. Ever since the Drake AI and
Hmm.
everything, like there was an AI that came out and like it's doing like yeah, doing rounds.
Oh, have you seen like the AI commercials that they're doing too?
Mm-mm.
But yeah, Planet Mountain Dew.
Yeah, those are weird. There's one that's like Shaq promoting something, but he's like every 10 seconds he like becomes the size of an ant, and it's like really weird. It like doesn't know what to do.
The the BK have it your way meme that went viral for like 3 days.
Hmm.
Funny.
Yeah, the commercials are definitely weird because it's actually like kind of crazy how close it can get to mimicking how an actual commercial is.
Mm.
And humor. It understands humor.
Yeah. Even though the commercials kind of seem like they're from the early 2000s, it does a really good job.
Some fucking Skynet shit.
Yeah.
Prepare for the robot overlords to take
Yes.
over.
Our advertisement is
The like button.
the like button.
Yeah. Smash that like button for more content like this.
Smash my like button.
According to the YouTube analytics, it looks like 0% of you are subscribed.
Subscribe.
Subscribe if you want me to cut off my balls.
I'm
the first
subscribing
person
immediately.
the first person to subscribe will get my balls in a jar.
Yep.
That shit's
And
weird,
if you
bro.
subscribe to our Patreon, you can watch the video of the Pain Olympics that I went through to get you that jar.
That sounds great.
We should just
I'm
bleep
sure
that
people would
all
pay for
out.
that.
I think you should just
Bro, we're just scamming at this point.
Yeah, because somebody actually wants my balls in a jar. Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. It'd probably be
Scammer
one of
gets
us.
scammed. Scammer gets scammed. I'm a scammer get scammed. All right. So, Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer movie. Have you guys heard anything about that?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the big bomb?
Yeah. Have you?
They made a nuke.
He.
Yeah, it's about the guy who designed the atomic bomb.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan is quoted as saying that fans should be prepared to almost physically feel the nuclear explosion at the theater.
Hmm.
Well, they filmed in IMAX. I'm guessing they optimized the audio for it to, you know,
I hope I get.
rumble.
I hope I get all every square inch of radiation just like it's real life.
Honestly, if I don't
I want to
walk
get
out with cancer,
flashbang. I want to get flashbang into my
I hope
seat.
they put an orphan radiation source inside the theater so it
Yeah.
irradiates everyone watching the movie.
just a
want them-
solid uranium chair.
Yeah, just put a demon core underneath my seat, please.
I would like to be incinerated at this movie.
I want severe radiation burns after I see this.
I wanna be melted in my chair by the time I have to leave. All right.
Instead of popcorn, you eat pieces of fuel rod.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tasty.
Gotta get really immersed.
Exactly. Oh god.
But that movie does seem really good from what I've heard.
It does. It does.
I am really excited.
Are we seeing it all together?
We should be, yeah.
Yeah, we could.
I would like that.
We can get incinerated as a group.
Yeah. All right. So the Barbie movie should be out around the same time. Which one are we seeing first?
Fucking Barbie.
Which one comes out first?
They both come out on the same day, I believe, actually.
Oh,
So we can
Mm.
watch them both on the same day.
Huh.
theoretically, yes.
I will pay for us to watch one of the movies.
Okay.
We can pay
Oppenheimer
for it, so-
is gonna
No.
be good. I have a feeling that fucking the Barbie movie is going to be like the
Bad.
next like fucking
Okay,
Avengers Endgame quality.
here's the thing. If they do it right, that movie could be good. If they make enough fun of the concept,
See,
That's
it
true.
could be a good movie.
yeah.
Literally, they plugged her feet inside one of the trailers. So it has to be
Nice.
good.
It has to be.
It has to be.
I'm paying to see the Barbie feet.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Like, what other reason would you? So what I'm thinking, either so we can get all we can take it easy with some real cinematic masterpiece of Barbie, and then end off with a real rowdy experience with Oppenheimer, or we can
Pretty mid experience with Oppenheimer.
pretty mid experience, or we can start off easy, first is worst, type move, and then Barbie movie afterwards.
Well, I'm kind of thinking I want to, I'm really like excited for the Barbie movie, and I kind of want to be able to enjoy myself
Mhm.
for it. So I think we have to see that first because I'm gonna have like burns and it's gonna be like really uncomfortable.
Yeah, just sitting at the
We're
Barbie
still
movie
going
with-
on the burns. We're still on that.
Well, you think it's a joke, Connor?
It's not a joke. It's what happens.
Yeah, you should know
Okay,
the lengths
okay.
that Christopher Nolan goes for his films.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He's gonna have an X-ray projector through the screen, so every time that there's an atomic explosion, we're just getting a full blast of X-rays.
A fatal dose of gamma radiation.
Why is it getting hot in here? Fucking proceeds to explode.
My insides are boiling.
Why am I turning into a hot dog in the microwave?
Someone accidentally dropped one of the demon cores under the feet and caused an explosion.
The theater cleanup crew just comes in with hazmats and Geiger counters.
There'd be a lot of Geigers in that room.
I hate Geigers, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
get you.
I get you. You gotta invite all the Geigers and then explode.
I mean, who likes nuclear radiation, honestly?
Oh my god. Alright. And last but not least. Oh, that's hold on before I get on to my next thing. Alright. So I'm gonna tell you some of the villains in our personality group, Joel.
Okay.
Hannibal Lecter.
Nice. Psychopath.
Yep. Magneto.
Psychopath.
Psychopath.
Gustavo Fring.
Psychopath.
Psychopath.
And Gru.
Psychopath. All right.
Psychopath.
Gru's for sure a psychopath. Gru.
He's like a psychopath with like empath traits.
Which I think is me, to be honest. So
Apparently his full name is Felonious Gru. So you are Felonious Gru.
all right, I'll accept that. I'm a big fan of that name. So Felonious.
Felonious Gru, my man. Oh, so I had another Grimace birthday shake. I'm really digging the juices from the teat of Grimace. They're my favorite.
Does anything turn purple?
No, not even.
Like not even your.
That's what I was about to say. Not even the shit, bro. Nothing.
They gotta.
That's disappointing.
It's like
Yeah, they gotta go back to the drawing board.
But honestly, it's almost magical. Like, how do they make something that purple just disappear in your intestines? Like, because it's just gone.
They didn't put enough petroleum-based dyes in it for it to make your tongue
That's
purple.
it. Give me more of that like microplastic, bro. I need that
Yes,
shit
exactly.
embedded in my DNA.
Just eat the cup.
Red 40 right now inside the jar. What's that? What's blue 2 or is it blue 4?
One of them.
It's one of
It's
them.
definitely one of them.
It's definitely blue.
It's definitely blue. I need red 40 and blue whatever.
Your number 5, maybe?
Whatever one has more microplastics.
I'd be interested to know actually how many plastics are in a McDonald's Grimace shake. Because there's definitely some in there.
There's microplastics in everything. I feel like McDonald's food just has slightly more than average.
Well, I'm convinced that a Big Mac is like at least 90% plastic.
Honestly, that goes well for me because honestly, by the time I hit 35, I'm trying to be at least 65% plastic.
Yeah.
That is the true goal. By the time you're 80, you're just 100% plastic.
Mhm.
You're
I
immortal.
mean,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
want to
you
be
would
Ken doll.
basically be Ken at that point.
Yeah, Kendall.
Yeah.
The more microplastics you have, the less likely you are to present aging features because as your cells are being replaced by microplastics, they don't bend and distort the same way that aging skin cells do. You know,
Mhm.
um, with let's take the forehead ridges and wrinkles for example. If you are at least like 35% microplastic, you'll never see that shit. The wrinkles under your eyes, your eye bags, basically gone, never to be seen again. You could reach 90 and not have any of those symptoms. You'll
Oh
still
yeah.
look like you're like 55.
Oh
Like
yeah. I mean, you could reach 500. I mean,
honestly,
you're gonna decompose, and the plastic is gonna be left. You're gonna
If
have a
you're
beautiful,
100% plastic,
it's
right?
gonna it's gonna look like snake skin, but yeah, it's gonna be all you just sitting there in the
Mhm.
casket, bro. It's gonna be
Just
like
like women with large breast implants. Like they're just gonna decompose, and then their tits are just gonna be sitting there in their coffin.
I think about that sometimes.
Like one of these days, I'm gonna go looking. I'm gonna-
People in like 1,000 years are gonna find those next to skeletons and be like, "Oh, I know what these
Yeah.
before."
Why are these two bags of plastic in the in this giant box underground?
I never thought of that.
I did.
Now I can't unthink of that.
They actually take them out during the embalming process.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's lame.
Right? You
Damn.
can request to be buried with them though, so it's not like uncommon.
Honestly, I'm gonna get a cock implant and I'm just gonna let them bury me with it.
They're just not in the body anymore. They like put them with like your personal belongings that you get buried with, you know.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask to be buried with a 8 foot long dildo. So whenever I'm dug up in like 4 billion years.
This guy
It
knew how
needs
to
to be
party.
inside of your skeleton.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So whenever I'm I'm dug up, they're like, wow, this guy had a massive plastic cock.
This guy died
That
from
should
an 8-foot dildo.
Yeah.
that should be your embalming plug. You know, the thing
Mhm.
that keeps your inside staying inside.
Right.
They just open your coffin. This guy knew how to party.
He sure did.
I want to make sure that I want them to put me in a funny pose and then mold my body so that they can cast it or do whatever the fuck so they can turn it into a statue. And I want that statue to be my tombstone. So like I want me to be in like
Oh.
almost like a cat pouncing pose, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And but except like Rocket League boost, like I want like something like that, but I want it to look almost like shit coming out of my ass. And I want that to be propping up the entire statue off of the tombstone base that would have, my name day to death and all that good stuff. And then inside the ground will actually be nothing because I'm going to get cremated. That's my only
Oh, it's a
legacy.
curveball.
Yeah, I actually my only legacy is just for that one statue being made.
Okay, that's cool. So it's gonna be like, of course you're gonna die famous. So all the
No,
people,
I
all the
want to be
Yeah.
unknown. I only want to be
no no.
known for that statue. It's like when somebody comes across like my statue, like they'll just be like, who was this guy? Like, how the fuck did he make this? And they look up my name on whatever like 29, 30 fucking websites they have and see that there's literally nothing on me. That the only thing that's known is that my tombstone was made and that I existed for some reason. I'll be like Jesus Christ. Like it was like, yeah, that guy existed, but we don't know what the fuck happened to him and why this thing is here. It'd be like Stonehenge.
I like the idea of you being super famous, so all the people, all your followers will want to find your body. So it'll be your statue and then like a 45-foot deep hole because they just have to keep digging because you're not there.
Send them on a wild goose chase. Like,
Yeah.
give them a set of coordinates before your death,
Yeah.
and that leads them to like multiple different like instructions on the next place to go. Just
Right.
basically make it a scavenger hunt.
Got you. But it
I
goes
think that would be
nowhere.
fucking sick.
I should just have like my own personalized AI make it like on the move. Like so, right when I die, it just starts pumping out these riddles that literally go nowhere. Like it's just random AI prompts.
Just have Chat GPT do that. Like, I don't think it would be that difficult.
No, I don't think it would. But honestly, you know what? You got me thinking now. I do want to get famous now because if I am famous, I could probably get that tombstone made for when I die. You know,
Oh yeah.
there would be at least a few people that'd be down with it. So you know what? That's gonna
If
be
you
my goal
find
with
this tombstone with this phrase on it, you know what to do.
No, 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 no. They're gonna make the tombstone because all I want in my legacy is
Okay.
just to be cremated and have that tombstone. So if I'm famous, that's pretty baseline gratification for a dead person, you know.
You know what? Yeah.
You could fake your own death and then have the
See who
statue
would do
made
it.
so everyone thinks you're dead,
Yeah, yeah.
and
I
then
see
you
what you
can
mean.
watch them go on the wild goose chase.
That's how I'm gonna retire from podcasting. So after our first podcast, when we're done, I'm just gonna fake my
Yeah,
death.
and make $1 billion from this one podcast because it goes viral.
It will. It'll definitely go viral, and we'll be billionaires after this for sure.
It's gonna pop off based on the first 20 minutes of this podcast. I would say it's gonna go hard.
Yeah, the last 15 minutes were pretty much a train wreck. But
Okay, I think that this is the best part. Like,
just random shit, just
yeah,
talking.
I think
I like
before
that though.
before it was too forced. It's like you have to try to talk. I think that's kind of a problem with having a
Yeah, honestly, I don't like being the center of attention when it's like this kind of
I think you
environment.
guys are thinking too hard into it.
I don't want to fucking embarrass myself on our
You
first
realize that most
podcast.
of this stuff was actually on my list to talk about. I feel like I've been doing a good job with keeping it going.
It's Yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
have. There haven't been
yeah.
too many upper pauses.
I just think the natural like fluidity of just having a conversation and recording it is
Yeah, just
That's what I was kind of trying to say.
well, no, I agree, but that's the thing is that when we started, I feel like again, think that you guys were thinking too hard on it. It was could have just kept being natural. I feel like I started it making it natural, but you
To
guys
be
wanted it
honest, I
to.
do think that this was a pretty decent
Yeah, I feel like
first episode.
I think the beginning uh
I knew it was
y-
gonna happen.
well yeah, but I think the problem is coming into Discord like that is like kind of like so you say you like your little intro and then it's like you're just silent and then we have to say something.
No, no,
You know
no,
what I'm
no, no,
saying?
no, no, no,
That's not natural.
no, no, no,
We
no,
could
no.
honestly just like greet each other or whatever as if we were just joining the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking about doing, but then everyone else was silent. I was like, what do I do?
Honestly, yeah, that was my bad that I was still silent. I just thought for some reason I would hear something like, but it was completely silent. So I
Mm.
didn't know if like you guys' mics were broken or something. But it's fine. We can cut that out because all I wanted really was the pop in for the intro. Really,
A lot of this is going to be cut out, just like the pauses and things like that.
If we can get 30 minutes out of this, I would be happy.
I think we
We could
could.
probably talk for 10 more minutes and we would definitely have 30 minutes of content.
Okay.
I have two things to say. The first thing is I think the part where it was just silent and then I said intermission, I think
Hmm.
that'd be funny to keep in. It's like
I kind of agree.
yeah, I think it's kind of
You
comedic.
don't have to keep the whole.
Even this part,
Yeah, I mean I think this part's like I said the best.
Yeah.
And my second thing is I apologize, Dakota, if I offended you by calling you a loose cannon. That's not what I meant. I just more of meant that
No,
I consider you occasionally irritable, and that's not a problem. It's just something I've noticed.
no, I didn't take it personally.
Okay.
I you know what? I'm kind of a narcissist and I like hearing about how people view me. So even
All
if
right.
it was like you think that I'm just some like unhinged individual just on the edge of snapping, I'd be still okay with hearing that
All
because
right.
for
Well, you're a piece of shit. So.
you're gonna make me fucking ball, bro.
also I have a thought.
What?
I think we should stay to the like initial like topics that we have planned, but I think like going off on tangents, I guess, could like add more content.
Yeah, I agree.
I also think it could be like maybe less formal. Like I know it wasn't very formal. I just mean like maybe the topic you could literally just like say it and then we can just have silence and then we can cut out the silence once someone decides they have something to say. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
I
it's
just want to
yeah.
make it easier for the editing process.
Mhm.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind taking a while to edit. It's
Okay.
fine.
And cutting out silences should be fairly.
Yes, to keep people's attention specifically.
Yeah. But anyway, back on the subject. So, Joel, you think I'm a loose cannon, but let me ask you
Mhm.
this: what does it mean to die?
Death is something that happens, and I know that the ones who loved us will miss us.
Nothing but endless void and darkness.
Sleeping forever.
All right, we got some stuff. All right. Do
An
you think
endless pit of despair
does
and
anybody here
dread.
believe in a soul?
I just want to point out I quoted Keanu Reeves. That was totally not for me.
Hmm.
I did not realize that.
Neither did I.
Do you believe in a soul?
Yeah, who here believes in a soul?
I believe in Keanu Reeves.
Honestly, everyone's Keanu.
Yeah.
Just we're just the embodiment of him. He's just a everlasting being.
Um, I am very boring, so this is gonna kind of make things very boring. But I don't believe in anything. I'm not superstitious. I don't believe in uh, ghosts or luck or religion or souls. I don't,
All
and none of
right.
that. It's
See,
just
Joel, again, right there. That makes me feel more like you.
hmm,
See, uh, yeah, yeah, I agree. I like that's what I was saying before when I was saying that I think that the ideas of those things are fun to think about. Like I would
hmm.
like I would like specifically like aliens. That's a pretty big one because you can't say no about aliens, right? In my opinion, aliens exist. The universe is too vast.
You
And
know,
do
I
I
agree.
think that we've been visited? Very unlikely. Uh, there's just why would an alien civilization just waste resources scouting us out for hundreds of years just to let us exist? I guess.
hmm Well, aliens is different than, in my opinion, than religion because, I mean, technically, if you want to think about like aliens is just life on a planet, which we know is possible because we're literally life on a planet.
Well, I'm not just saying like life on a planet, but specifically the superstition of them
Okay.
Intelligent life.
hopping the stars and
Yeah.
doing shit
Mm.
like that. I don't think there's some intergalactic space station out there.
I think it's very unlikely.
You think what is aliens?
Well, okay. So I think that the possibility of life existing, it like has to exist somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's like microbial life
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. But intelligent life, I'm not sure.
Are we an abnormality though?
I don't think
I
so.
think so.
I I almost think that is so. I think it could go either way. For me, I'm not calling you selfish. I'm just saying for people that like straight up 100% say that we're the only people on Earth, or only people like living forms.
Well, that's not really what I meant. I sort of meant maybe there is intelligent life out there, but there's no chance of us encountering
Right,
it because of
right.
how distant it would be from us.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it doesn't seem like the thing that is likely to happen often.
And it's not like if there were intelligent beings, they would even want to get. It's like they
Mm-hmm.
don't know where we're at, we don't know where they're at.
What if to
Yeah.
them we are lesser beings? Maybe they're the intelligent ones and we're the.
That's
You
another
know,
thing though. The other thing is that because of how big the universe is, there's a lot of emptiness. It's like,
Yeah, it. You people don't realize how vast the galaxy is, like infinitely large.
mm-hmm.
it
Like
is
the
impossible to comprehend,
Mm-hmm.
the
literally
closest star to us is millions of miles away,
trillions of miles.
trillions of true light years away.
Yep.
Like
A light year is about 6 trillion miles, and then your star is at least 4 light years away from Earth. So,
And then
yeah.
like that's the closest like star, and
that is our sun,
Connor, you're the closest
No, not
star.
our
not
sun.
our. Okay.
The closest star other than our sun.
Alpha Centauri.
Proxima Centauri, I believe.
My bad.
What'd you say, Joel?
I said you're the closest star because you're a star to
Oh,
me.
thank
You
you.
brighten my world every time I go outside, babe.
Dakota, you're a black hole.
I'm gonna give you my black
You
hole. Shut
suck
your
in
mouth, bro.
everything. You don't even let light escape. But yeah, overall, I believe in the possibility of those things,
hmm
like a
Well, you
soul
can't
and
rule out any of it. It's like you can't even disprove it with
yeah.
science.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you could say that about religion too.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Religion is just a cult. You can't say anything that'll change my mind.
Okay, well,
I
if
agree.
anyone else has interjections, feel free to speak. But my opinion with religion is there is nothing tangible in reality that proves religion.
hmm It's kind of like the thing I already said is that there's not even like an example of there being a god. There is an example of creatures living on a planet, like I said, because we're one of them. But
Yeah.
Okay, my personal opinion when I think of God, I feel like God would have been the very first organism that ever existed. Like that, then it branched off and basically created all that evolution and stuff and shit. That's what I kind of believe. I'm still like, you
Mm-hmm.
God,
know,
God is a microbe.
I mean, you don't know that. I mean, God is pictured as this big celestial being, man, and stuff. And
You know what I think would be cool? If the
What?
universe. Alright, this shit's gonna sound weird and crazy. I promise I'm not high. But imagine if the entire universe was like a giant amoeba. We could call that amoeba God.
That's an interesting theory.
Like, I don't
the,
think that was a
The
theory.
universe exists inside of an amoeba.
It sounded like a theory.
Yeah, the amoeba theory. The
Does that mean every amoeba on Earth contains a universe?
I,
I
you
think
gotta
so,
cut them open to find out.
Yeah, someone should get on that. I think you're onto something.
That might be, man.
for sure.
That fucking Elon Musk brain. That personality trait coming through for me.
I think I see more Gru coming through, but
I'm about to steal the moon, bro.
No, that was a vector.
Hey,
Yeah.
Gru's
You gotta
plan first. It was Gru's
Oh
plan
yeah,
first.
true, true. You're right. I'm not familiar with the lore of Despicable Me. I'm sorry.
you gotta figure that out, Corbin. It's
Yeah.
I
ridiculous.
know.
Honestly,
I'm so
I don't
uncultured.
even know if I know you right now.
you're not even you're not even my brother, man.
I'm sorry to insult your religion.
It's alright, it's alright. So yes, I do have a religion. It is Gru. Gru and the minions.
You know what?
Gruism.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Off the Guru subject, off the Guru subject, back on it. All right. So, Joel, you're saying that a soul is a superstition?
Uh, I am saying that a soul, not, I'm not necessarily labeling it. I'm just saying it doesn't exist. And there's always those people that bring up this scientific thing that was done where they had a person that was on a scale and
Hmm.
died,
Yeah, I was
and
thinking
they were
about that.
like, "Oh, this person lost blah blah grams when they died," and I like to just think they farted and burped, because that's what happens when you die.
Yeah, you got something there because it was a very small amount. It was like less than a gram, wasn't it? It was like a
Mhm.
hundredth of a gram or some shit.
Right.
Um,
The definition of a soul is the spiritual or immaterial part of a human being or animal regarded as immortal. I don't believe in that part.
So
yeah.
yeah. So how does you said immaterial?
Yeah, it's not physical.
I mean that doesn't exist. Nothing
I
immaterial
know.
exists. I know that's. I'm just saying.
Emotional or intellectual energy or intensity,
Dark matter.
especially as revealed in a work of art or artistic performance,
Hold
is
on. I
apparently
have
soul.
I have a this is gonna be my little theory that I just came up with on the spot. It's not been peer reviewed yet. I gotta submit it. Um, dark matter. What if they we know it exists. We've gotten to that point at least, but we can't measure it or really anything to some degree. For my understanding, this is this big theory. But
Mhm.
what if because it's that maybe that's our connection? Maybe that's in some point because one thing that I like to think I'm a very logical person, but sometimes I do get very I sometimes get down in the dumps, like mentally. And there'll be times that I'll be thinking like how can life be like this? And then I'll just be like thinking and consciousness is a very weird thing. It's so like the what I'm seeing and what you're seeing and what Corbin's seeing and what Connor's seeing, we're in our own fucking glass, right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't even imagine like your guys' positions, how you're sitting, what you're looking at, like what you're thinking about, what you're hearing, just like you can't for me. We're in our very own perceived universes. Like who's to say even the colors that we see based on the light hitting our retinas and shit and doing all that shit, the neurons in our brains. Who's to say that that neuron connection is going to bring out the same color of yellow, red, blue, whatever the fuck you're seeing to what I'm seeing? Who's to say
Mhm.
that that's the same?
Basically, my red might be your pink or purple,
And
Mhm.
shit,
right?
yeah, and shit like
Yeah,
that. There's got to be something that
but we
makes
have
consciousness
learned
it something that brings consciousness. And I feel like
Brain neurons.
I don't know though, cuz fucking
science.
cats, dogs, animals, I'm not going to lie. Animals are in a special kind of I don't know, like they're in a different realm. They don't have consciousness on our levels. Like they have feelings and shit. They have like they react to stimuli, right? And when
Well, they
something's
do have emotions.
yeah, but that's again, in my opinion, even though it's emotions, emotions are real. I feel like it's only created based on emotions because you can kick a dog, right? And it's going to be a really bad experience for that dog. But that dog's going to forget about it because it remembers the owner is still giving them at least enough love that it cares about, right? It's
I'll
reacting to
make sure he
stimuli.
doesn't
Well,
forget.
you could say the same thing about humans.
I don't
Okay,
know
well,
about that.
Domestic abuse victims, Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
for mammals, at least, is is very similar for all mammals. That's the one thing we kind of all have in common is very similar brains.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean the consciousness and I guess our soul is just, in my opinion, it is literally just our misunderstanding of the brain, which is kind of like when people don't know how to explain things, they create a thing to believe because they
Mm-hmm.
don't,
The construct within their mind.
right, they don't like not understanding a complex thing,
Mm-hmm.
so they create something to understand it, and that's kind of what soul is. Like
Mm-hmm.
what a soul is people not understanding what they are.
Right, but I feel like that's still something though, because it's something that's not at least explained. It's something that like we have no real definitive answer of. So if we could find that definitive answer, would that still not be what we call a soul? Like we'd
Uh,
call it something, right?
I think it all lives in our head. It's just our brain.
So you
It's
think it's just an
neurons,
imagination?
chemicals. No, it's neurons and neurotransmitters and electrical signals.
Oh, right. But I understand that, and I agree that everything that we're seeing is just. But what like this thing?
It's an interesting subject.
I feel like you can't just shut down the question with saying because it hasn't been measured, it doesn't exist yet.
What were you saying, Corbin?
Well, I believe, okay. So my thought is our brains, or what we think of as ourselves, are just a series of electrical signals in our brain
Mm-hmm.
Mhm,
that are constantly firing, and if they stop firing, you die.
mhm.
Right.
So I think consciousness is not a physical characteristic. It is a characteristic of the electrical signals in our brain, and somehow intelligence arises out of that. It's a very strange thought.
It's very strange. Yeah, intelligence.
But yeah, I agree. That's on the same. That's basically what I was saying. It's just like it's a thing that the human brain is not fully understood at all. So
Yeah,
it's
It's the most complex thing that is known to humans.
right.
it's hard looking in the inside.
Yeah. It's hard to understand yourself.
It's hard to study something that actively needs to be working when it's on the inside. It's like you can't just cut someone's head open and start studying them while they're alive. I mean, I
Yeah, we
guess you could,
can.
but
Yeah.
I don't know who would. I guess there are people.
There are people, scary people. Do you think will and soul are tied together in any way?
Like free will,
Not free will. I'm
Free
like the
Willy.
desire to live.
the desire to live. I mean, I feel like the desire to live goes with intelligence and us knowing the importance of life, I guess, not knowing what's beyond it.
Humans are inherently selfish
Yeah.
because we are intelligent enough to understand that we are separate from the rest of the universe. So we can want things on our own.
Hmm.
Not in like you hear people when they take the guy that got his arm stuck. James Franco played him in a movie.
Oh,
Cut his
the
wrist off with a pocket knife.
he was the rock climber guy.
Yeah, you hear stories like that. People have this like strong push to do anything and everything. And no, don't get me wrong, I get it. Like I don't think that I would want to stop living in that way. I'd do everything I could, but I think that I'd probably stop shy of cutting off my wrist in that situation. I feel like I don't. Maybe if it's a lot of pain, like I probably could convince myself that since it are like I've bit the inside of my cheek before, on purpose, and like I've like there's ways that you can like cause yourself harm if you're convinced that it's not as bad as it is. So maybe I could see myself maybe being able to, but just thinking about taking a pocket knife to that, not my go-to personally.
think about that. That's like a life or death situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think people can really understand an experience like that until they have one.
I agree.
So if you're like doing everything you can to survive, and that is the only option you have,
Right.
I feel like a lot of people would
But
do that.
that's what I'm my argument is I feel like humans are also predisposed to comfort, like choosing the easiest way out. I feel like I said, I feel like if I wasn't going to be in as much pain starving to death with my arm stuck there as I am going to be shoving a rusty thing in my arm, I'd probably take the starving route personally.
Hmm. I think starving would be more painful, oddly enough.
But I also think it would change. Your opinion would change when you're actually in that situation,
That's true.
and there's
That's
adrenaline
that's what also what I
and
was saying.
fear.
Yeah.
But the understanding that you're gonna die, and I think that definitely does some stuff to people. Like the last ditch effort.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna die
Like that's
anyway.
something people don't recover from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was just gonna say another thing specific to humans is understanding that they're going to die.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there could be different emotions that arise from that.
That's true.
It,
Or maybe not the only species who understands they're gonna die, but we at least have the higher thought necessary
Mm-hmm.
to understand the situation, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think other things definitely like other less intelligent creatures, their defense mechanisms and fear, it's mistaken as a something being scared to die. And this is kind of like it's a thought I don't really think people should have, but it's like whenever they see a deer like run from a car, they think the deer is scared to die, but I don't necessarily it's just a defense mechanism. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like
It's just
that's
Fight or flight response.
yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of like that's again comparable to our brains in a situation where like quick like that. We're not when we see a car coming and we're standing in the middle of the road, we don't actually think, "Oh, I don't want to die." We think I just have to get out of the way.
I mean, we all have instinct.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we all have. We have
Mhm.
that like built into us, like that primal kind of, you know.
Okay. So I don't know how long you guys think it took this guy, but he was stuck in a hole 127 hours. That's what it's called.
What were like the weather conditions? Was it like
Dry.
dry?
He was in a hiking in Arizona, somewhere around there, Midwest.
So obviously his story ends with him cutting off his arm or hand.
Yeah. He survives
How long was he there?
127 hours.
Okay, so it took him 127 hours to build up the courage to cut off his hand.
Yeah, he was dehydrated, which I believe was one of the reasons he was able to get out alive, is that
Mhm.
his blood was thick and clotted easier.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely saying something that it took him that long to reach that decision.
Yeah, that's what I was also thinking, because I feel like once you're there for a while, it probably starts hurting real bad, and I think I'd probably get to that point too. Like, I don't know, like, sitting here right now, I think that I would probably starve, but again, when you're there and you're sitting there again,
Mhm.
over 5 days, you're probably gonna be like, well, damn, might as well get it
You have
over with.
5 days to think about what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I like to sit here and think I would have done it earlier, but that's like that's like the same situation. Like you can't actually say that unless you're in that situation.
Hmm.
But I think after like day 3, I would have been like, yeah, my arm's stuck. I gotta cut
My arm's a
it.
little.
You gotta do something at some point.
Man, I'm really
I've been
stuck
sitting
between a
here for
rock
3
and a
days.
hard place right now, man. I don't
Yeah.
know what to do. All right, that's all I had to talk about today. That's all my topics. So, did anybody else have anything that they wanted to say?
I don't think so.
I think that was pretty decent.
I feel like we got a lot of good stuff here. Um, we're making a Patreon. Gonna at least make 3 episodes right now. Don't know how that's gonna go based on this first episode, but I am committed to part 2.
I think we all are.
Yes, there are some things we could talk about,
Yeah.
but I think we could try.
We will get better at this
Yeah.
as the episodes go on. This was the first episode, so we were a little
Little funky.
awkward
Yeah.
at times, but I think we'll get more comfortable doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be a fun thing. Like once we're rich and famous, it's gonna be a fun. It's gonna be a fun thing for our millions and trillions of fans to go back to and look at. Like, wow, they
Yeah.
were so different back then.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're gonna be the richest fucking people on the planet
yeah.
because of a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Once I have my McLaren, we're gonna be fucking set.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that's it. See ya.